There we go. It's finally about time we lower this beast. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. So today, as you guys could see, we are lowering the car. I got H&R lowering springs. I have the link in the description below if you guys do want to purchase these. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a step-by-step video on how you're gonna install these springs. So we're gonna do it together. You guys follow along if you are gonna lower your 370Z. So I'm gonna list everything down below that you need to get this job done, including the tools, the sockets, everything that you need to do this job. So let's get right into the video. So here are the springs. As you guys just saw, I got these from eBay, but I have a link down below for Amazon as well. Both of them it's actually cheaper on Amazon with 2-day shipping, so I recommend checking it out on Amazon. But anywho, these are the springs. I believe these are the fronts and the other two are the rears. I'm gonna open up the car and then we're gonna find out which ones are which. But these are made in Germany, super high quality. And the reason why I went with H&R is that I wanted to go fairly low, but not too low to the point that I'm scraping everywhere. So H&R is literally lowering the car to a perfect battle stance type of look. And then of course with the box you get your H&R stickers and your warranty and pretty much all the paperwork and stuff. So we're gonna jack up the car and then we're gonna start taking off the bolts, and then I'm gonna guide you through how to get the fronts done. We're gonna start with the fronts and then we're gonna go to the back. So let's get right into it. There's a bunch of things you need to take off from the bottom before you actually go to the top. The first thing you want to unbolt is this right here, and then once you're done with that, you got to open this nut right here, and then once you take this off and this off, then there's going to be the final nut right here, and then the strut assembly should be free from the bottom. And then of course you want to make sure that you unplug all of these brake lines. You don't have to unplug it, just unclip it right here so you don't drag it with you when you're taking off the strut. Once you have all of that off, we're gonna go to the top, and there's gonna be 3 bolts right here, right there, nuts 1, 2, and 3, and then you slowly bring this down. I actually lost my fender liner as well while I was driving on the highway, so I have no fender liners on both sides. But anywho, let me open these up. So when you open the nut, you want to make sure you have something in the back, because if you're gonna try to open this, you see the back one starts spinning. There you go. Then this is gonna open up like that, and then your whole assembly is gonna come like so. Don't worry about it, it's not gonna fall down. You definitely need to get an alignment done after this. I'm sorry for the background noise, there's a lot of traffic in our area. So before you let this loose, make sure you unclip these, because as you could see there's a lot of tension built up. So you want to unclip these real quick so that you don't break them. This is the ABS line, I believe. Yeah, so there you go, like so. So make sure you break this loose so you don't break this apart. Now let's unbolt this. I was able to open this one up. This was a 12mm, but here's one thing I would suggest you guys. Now use some sort of vice grips to grab this and then try to open it, because as you could see this twisted in. I'm not too sure why they made it so flimsy, but you want to make sure you don't break this apart. So use some sort of vice grips to hold it and then try to open it. And then once you have it open, just pull this off very gently, put the nut back in so you don't lose it, and there you go. Now the final thing we're gonna do from the bottom is this nut right here. We need to open up this nut. Now this is attached to the sway bar in the back side. So we're gonna open this nut up, but at the same time you wanna make sure you're grabbing the back side so it doesn't twist the actual bolt. Once we're gonna take off the top, we need to jack it up just a little bit so that we release some tension from the sway bar, and then the top 3 bolts are gonna come off, and then the whole thing is gonna come off. So let me open up this bottom bolt. Now this one, I could assure you is gonna be very, very difficult, but since I have the benefit of the Milwaukee impact gun, we're gonna use this. And just like that, comes off like butter. So that's the nut. Now the top are gonna be 13 millimeters. We're gonna open that up, and then the whole puppy is gonna come off. and then I'm gonna show you how you're gonna swap the springs, and then we should be done with the front. We're gonna move to the back. You don't really need to take off the strut tower if you're using a smaller socket. I'm not gonna take it off. I already got access to all of them anyways. So this is the last one. Okay, all three are off. Now we're gonna move to the bottom. All right guys, so we took a quick break because it started raining. You know, Florida is super bipolar. I took the end link off. So what you have to do to actually break everything loose, jack up the other side of the car as well. And then you're gonna unbolt the end link from the sway bar. And this is gonna be a 17mm bolt. Once you have that off, now you're gonna see everything is just gonna come off like butter. So you jack it up a little bit, take off the end link, then you let it go. And as you can see from the top, it literally falls by itself. So now, as you can see, here's the puppy that we're trying to take off. So now we're gonna compress this with the spring compressing tool that you guys could rent from from AutoZone for free. So rent out that tool, and then I'm gonna show you how to open this up and swap out the springs, and then we're gonna do everything in the reverse, and we'll see how it looks. These are the spring compressing tools that you could lend for free. All you gotta do is just pay a deposit, and then the way they work is that you pull these out, and then you put the spring here like so, and then you tighten this just a little bit right here, and then this is gonna compress the spring. So you want to make sure you do both. You want to put both of these on equally, and you tighten them one at a time equally so that they compress equally. Then there's only one nut on the top right here. You unbolt this, and then this will come off, and then you slowly release the tension on the spring compressors, and then the whole spring is gonna come off. So we're gonna show it to you right now. So this is a 17mm on the top. As you could see, now what we could do, you could start taking this apart. All right guys, so here's the H&R spring. Now the way to tell which one is the front and the rear, over here it's gonna say F or R. It's kind of washed out over here, but on the back one it says R. So this is gonna be the front. Now you're gonna put it straight like this because the lettering are gonna be straight. It's not gonna be upside down. So the best way to check is you could put on your top hat, and then you gotta make sure that this little indent aligns right here, and that's how you could tell this is the proper way to put it. So I'm gonna compress it just a little bit. I'm gonna put on the top hat. Now one thing to keep in mind, never put your fingers inside right here when you're tightening this, because that could result in a nightmare. Always keep your fingers up when you're compressing the spring. Put this over here. There's an indent right here, so make sure it's aligned properly. Then put your top hat on. Now the thing about the top hat is that the centerpiece starts twisting as well. So what you want to do is use a wrench, a 17mm wrench, and then you want to hold this like so, and then you want to use a wrench to kind of tighten it just a little bit more. It doesn't need to be super tight because you don't want it extremely tight. So we're gonna use a plier to tighten this up a little bit, and then we should be good to go. So use a vice grip on the top and then twist it up. It doesn't take much effort, and then you're gonna see at least a few threads out, and that's how you know you are good to go. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna uncompress these, and then we're good to go with this side. This is the reverse process of everything. So we're gonna put it back in, and then we're gonna do the back real quick, and then we're gonna put down the car, and then I'm gonna show you how it looks. So let me put this back in real quick. We'll start with the back, and yeah, I'm excited to show you how it looks. Yes. So make sure when you guys are putting this back in, the bolt is on this side for the brake. You want to put in the top part first before you put in the bottom. Now, see, one problem I just noticed is that when you twist the top not in a proper angle, you see the bottom is twisted. As you can see, everything is back to normal now. So the main thing you want to do when you put everything back in is that you want to first jack it up a little bit, and then you want to slide in. The first thing you want to slide in is the end link bolt that attaches the strut assembly to the control arm. You got to have it jacked up quite a bit, and then you got to put in the sway bar end link nut as well. And then while you're doing all of that, make sure you have at least one nut in the top, and then you'll be good to go. And then once everything is back in, don't tighten everything fully, keep everything loose, so you gotta adjust everything, tighten all the nuts, and then we should be good to go.
I don't think you wanna give me a reason. I've been trying not to go off the deep end. I don't think you wanna give me a reason. I've been trying not to go off the deep end. I don't think you wanna give me a reason.
Guys, so we just got done with the front. We're gonna do the back real quick. There's only one bolt, so we're gonna open it up, we're gonna show it to you guys, and then we're gonna drop the car, and then you're gonna see. So as you guys could see, there's only one bolt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jack it up with the jack to release the tension, and then slowly take this off, and then slowly lower the jack, and then that's gonna drop the spring. Super easy. So there's a nut in the back. You actually have to grab it so it doesn't spin. So let's try this again. My machine doesn't fit. Okay. So now, once you have this open, you have to jack it up down very slowly, and don't be under the car. Alright, so we have the new spring. As you can see, it says R for rear. It's gonna go up like this with the lettering on the top. You're gonna use the bushing from the last one, put it in the bottom, and then you can put your feet down all the way, have one person push it down, and then you put in the new spring. Make sure it aligns up from the bottom tray on the top, and you should be good to go. So, okay. Actually, I could do it. Yeah. And now you jack it up. Make sure it sits in the bucket in the bottom as well. And that's it. So this doesn't just slide into place, you have to screw it in, so remember that. Jack it up a little bit. Before it gets outside of the other end, put in the screw, not the screw, the nut. So the nut, make it tighter. Then what you want to do, you want to hold it with a plier, and then you screw in all the way, and you should be good to go. So we're gonna do the other side real quick. We'll drop the car, we'll show it to you guys, and yeah, I hope you guys found this video informative.